Hey, Dana here, and welcome to my vlog. We're looking at the 03 Ford Explorer. It failed its inspection the other day for broken strut springs. So what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling them. Well, you got to go down through there. You got 3 of them. Let's see. You got one on one. You can see where I broke one off, and there's another one there, and there's the one up front. So same on the other side. Right here. And what's going to happen is, because these have probably never been changed, the nuts are worn down. Nut heads are worn down, to the lobes on the freaking nuts are worn down. So I think originally they're 13s. Because I just did one, and I was trying 11s and 12s. With those, I was able to put them on the nut head, pound them down hard so they're locked in. I made the best headway with the 11 deep. So I've got them all done. That last one I just did, I couldn't get anything on it. Come to find out it was a 13 in the end. I just took a bar and got on what was left of the bolt and pounded on it and broke it off so I could get right on it, right on the nut, so I'd be able to use nut removers if I had to, but I got it done. So now the next step is to go underneath. I got to figure out what I'm going to need down there. I'd go down to Wilbur's and experiment, but I needed to do that here first. So now I know exactly what tools I got to take with me. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, this is where I'm at. I've loosened the tie rod off of your steering knuckle. That is a 13. I would just say bigger than that. Yeah, 18. 18 for that. Oh, 21. Excuse me, 21. 21 for that. This bottom one, on the other hand, 24 on the bottom. And then back up here to get your upper swing arm or a ball joint. And that winds up being a 17 up there. Alright. And then what you're going to need, you're going to need a ball joint release tool. And that worked really good. I got that at Singular at Harbor Freight. And that'll grab that bottom right here, get under the nut, tighten it up, and it'll pop. Same up there. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing out because it's pushed down. And right now I'm at this point. I've got to replace that ball joint too while I'm here. More ball. And I think what I'm going to have to do is loosen the drive shaft nut, because this just won't drop down over that. It was really close. You got to pull it up and then you got to slide it in. It's a little bit of a maneuver there, and you've also got your drive shaft nut that's doing the whole thing here. I got to do them both because it's like a up slide over that same time and then all the way out. It's not a fun procedure. All right, we're back. And now I got that front bolt on. I had to disconnect the. Gotta pull the brakes off, and then you're gonna have to pop your lower ball joint, pop your upper ball joint. I recommend that you do is disconnect your upper ball joint first. Well, at least loosen the bolt, should I say, or nut, and then do the same down here. Then what you can do is get in my case I have a ball joint fork, and mine was too small. It didn't go in here, but it will go between here and there, all right, underneath. And then you just, actually on top, between here and the top, and then you're able to just pound through. You're not going to mess up the boot. And then go ahead and pound on the outside here, and it should drop, okay? Now you're going to pull your drive shaft nut, which is a size of your head on my hammer. My gun here. There's a 30. Where are you? That's a 30. Undo that. Now you're going to shove that back in there with these two loose, or drop down, so you're ready to drop them. The problem is you got this lip here, and it's inside here. It's just not going to drop down. So you got to play with this, twist it forward a little bit, take the drive shaft up a little bit, and pull this out. Once you get this out, then you've got play from here to here to drop this down, and you're going to see it when you do it. All right, and so get it around there, and then you're going to be able to pull this forward, okay? And then you'll have to pry down for the rest of the length of this, and it's going to pop off. Now remember, you got your anti-skid cable right here. Hey, be careful. Hold on to it when it drops, because you don't want to screw up that cable. Depending on how old it is, it's going to be a chore. I've still got to do that side there. I'm not where I need to be yet. I've got the bolt out of here. This is already expanded to its full length. All right, well, I'm taking it too far. So now I get this broken here. I'm going to have to replace it. You don't have to mess with that. I'll be doing another video. I'm just for history here. Once you undo those up there, you don't have to pull this. I got to pull it anyway because I got to do the ball joint. So I'll be back on that. When you do that, this expands. And all you got to do is pound it a little forward to get that release. Or let's see how that's that way. All you got to do is pull it forward. Twist it forward a little bit, because it was already dropped down. So you get it over here in this wide. You see how this area is compressed? Oh, yeah. See how it's compressed in this area? So you get it and twist it out a little bit. Now you got a wide area, and it's going to drop down. And then you can just turn around and twist it and bring it right back up. I didn't have to disconnect that. And don't have to take the steering knuckle off. I just need to do that anyway because I got to press that bearing out, that ball joint out. Alright, we'll be back. I'm going to show you how to do it on one down at Wilbert's today. And it shouldn't take that long, come to find out. Hey, Dana here, and welcome to my vlog. Well, I'm getting pretty good at this freaking strut removal on the Explorer. I'm back in here again. Those struts that I got from the 06, wrong ones. They needed a wider spacer. They needed a wider spacer. The 06s did not have it. So I'm back in here again. Now I can abbreviate it really quick for you. Unfortunately, I have misplaced my impact gun. I don't know if I left it down here or I just put it away someplace and now I can't find it, but it's gone. So I've had to do all this by hand. All right. So you're gonna have to get your 13s. Get these. I broke that one off, but there's enough thread on it for a new nut. This three nuts you got to get off of there. They're 13s, and then you're gonna drop down here. I'm all set here. You're definitely gonna need one of these. So go Harbor Freight and get one. They're I guess you could call them a tie rod puller or something like that, but make sure it's the bigger one, not the small one. Okay, it's paid for itself 4 times today, or in the past 2 days. If you're gonna get your lower tie rod end, you're gonna have to push this out of the way so you can get to it, and it'll pop it. Top here, no problem. It'll just pop it right out. All right, so that's where we're at. I got the nut up there done. Now we got to get the big bolt out of there. And there didn't seem to be any issue with that on the other side. It is torqued pretty good, but you still got to break it. Break it with what you got. Was that, and then get that on there. I think I got to pull it up this time. Let's see what's that. I can't remember. 21? That's a 24. 24 on that. All right, let's get that extension. I'm just now doing this, so stay tuned. Always something. I thought it broke the nut loose, but it did not. It broke my wrench. That's got a freaking lifetime on it. You son of a gun. You. Always something. Well, I'm glad my other toolbox is in here. And it's got a 1/2-inch breaker and another Craftsman ratchet. So if I can't get it off with those, I got real big issues. Well, I'm screwed. I got the brake loose with all the extensions and everything. But guess what? The problem is the bolt is rusted and seized inside the bushing. And I can't get it to break loose. Right now, what's happened is it's broke the rubber loose from the strut itself. The nut's coming off, but that is not coming out. So, in that idea, I guess you need to try to make sure those break loose before you try to do anything else. So, unfortunately, I got one strut. Alright, here's the example. This is an 06. See how this is sitting up here? We are 03s, they're further down inside. That's the difference, and I didn't pay attention when I did it. And again, here's an 03. So it sits down inside, and it's got a negative. The bushing is longer. Hey, Denny here, and welcome to my garage. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to get this strut replaced. It's going to take a little bit to get it removed. Hopefully this bolt has not seized itself inside that bushing, which I found on another 90, an 03. I tried to get the strut off of. I had to wind up buying a brand new one. So let's go ahead and do that. Got to do the pull the tie rod momentarily, and we've got to remove the upper ball joint so this can roll forward, so I can get that rolled out of there. Now you got to go up on top, which I've already done, and undo the nuts. There's 3 of them up there. So you got 3 nuts up there and this big bolt down here. And we're going to try the new Hercules. We got the new Hercules. Now we'll see if that's going to break that nut bolt right out of there. Okay. I was able to pop that ball, your tie rod ball, that I'm taking the rotor off. You might push the rotor out just a little bit off of its axle, but I was able to get that. Use the ball joint press, get further enough in there so it would catch, and tighten it up. It went. Alright, next one I got to do is that one there, which this works really well for. Alright, we're back. It's time. We're going to see who's going to win. That Bolt of the Hurricane with 1500 removal torque. Fortunately, I got a freaking stand. So hopefully you can see this. Now I'm using the torque at max. It's going to be at max range here. I'm just hoping I'm not going to have a problem getting that bolt out. I didn't on this side, so what I'm afraid of is it's going to get caught on it's going to be frozen in that bushing. Okay, so as you can see, I've just now put it on max 1500 removal, and I've had to use a long bar to break this normally. Well, here we go. Let's see what happens. Woo! That's my bad wrist too. Alright, I'm holding again. Man. Woo! Oh, looks like the bolt. There's one. Man. Definitely get my wrist to be good. Alright, so listen. So it's over 1500 foot-pounds in torque. It didn't move. And I have to use a breaker bar on it now. Alright, stay tuned. Unfortunately, the bolt has won for the moment. Well, and I'm stuck right now because I can't get that nut bolt. I'm trying to find different ways to do this thing. Fortunately, I'm really not going to be able to do it until I get the other side done. I'm stuck up here. I don't have enough room here to try and use that bar to its fullest length. But I'm afraid what I got is, like I said, that bushing is froze in there. I think what I'm going to wind up doing is cutting that strut off. And then going from there. Dude snuck up on me. I didn't even hear him. Oh, cow. Alright, so there's my bearing. And he also dropped me off my other strut. Let's get this rebuilt. Okay, here's what you got. I ordered the top one. but I meant to order the bottom one. But this one here looks like it may need to be replaced. So anyway, this is the one I'm looking for. And they gave you some nice retaining stuff here to put around the outside so it'll slip right on. Alright, hey, Dana here. Welcome back to my garage. It's the 03 Ford Explorer. We need to do a ball joint on this lower ball. And we're going to go ahead and use the bearing tamer. Get this popped out. First thing we got to do is that freaking upper spring clip. Alright, it wasn't bad. It's all worn out. You're going to get another one with the new bearing, with a new ball joint. I got mogul. I deal mogul only. Okay, this is how we got it set up. Which I didn't realize how wide the bottom of that bearing was. It's sitting way out around here. What I did is I wound up using a smaller cup, and I was actually pushing on the bearing when I was trying to tighten it down. So now the bigger one's under here. Now this is going to fall out inside that cup. I'm using the Hercules now. Seems as though I was an idiot and I got so screwed around down there at Wilbert's, and I left my Cobalt down there, and somebody decided they wanted to take it home. So I have no choice but to buy a new one. Because you can't do any of this stuff without an impact. And all my air impacts are just, you know, obsolete. So I picked up this Ultra, and it has 1,500 pounds of removal torque, and 1,000, I think, seven or 900 pounds of tighten up torque. So so we got right now, and I just started, and I just saw, and there it goes. There we go. That's it. And I put this on the I've got this on the second notch for impact. Okay, there we go. Fell in there. Let's go ahead and get it swapped out now. Okay, to finish that thing out, because it had a grease fitting sitting on top, took the grease fitting off, and then it will just pump it out with that. Okay, we're going to do it again. Now we're pressing it in. And put some of that stuff on there, and we'll get it started here. It should creep right on up. I'm using number 2. Alright, hey, Dana here. Welcome back to my garage. It's the 03 Ford Explorer. We need to do a ball joint on this lower ball, and we're going to go ahead and use the bearing tamer. Get this popped out. First thing we got to do is that freaking upper spring clip. Alright, it wasn't bad. It's all worn out. You're going to get another one with the new bearing, with a new ball joint. I got mogul. I deal mogul only if I can get it. Alright, so I just put a lot of blaster on it, and then I took the alignment tool, which is flat, and then hit between the things here to get it to spin, and then get you a large pair of spreader tool here and get in the hole, spread it apart. Now the next deal here, get you one of those freaking Maddox ball joint kits, and you'll be able to line yourself up and get these popped out. Okay, this is how we got it set up. Which I didn't realize how wide the bottom of that bearing was. It's sitting way out around here, and what I did is I wound up using a smaller cup, and I was actually pushing on the bearing when I was trying to tighten it down. So now the bigger one's under here. Now this is going to fall out inside that cup. I'm using the Hercules now. Seems as though I was an idiot and I got so screwed around down there at Wilbert's and I left my Cobalt down there and somebody decided they wanted to take it home. So I have no choice but to buy a new one. You can't do any of this stuff without an impact. And all my air impacts are just, you know, obsolete. So I picked up this Ultra and it has 1,500 pounds of removal torque and 1,000, I think, seven or 900 pounds of tighten up torque. So so we got right now, and I just started, and I just and there it goes. There we go. That's it. And I put this on the I've got this on the second notch for impact. Okay, there we go. Fell in there. Let's go ahead and get it swapped out now. Okay, to finish that thing out, because it had a grease fitting sitting on top, took the grease fitting off and then able to just pump it out with that. Using 2 on the Hercules here. Okay, that popped that right up in there. Now what I need to do is I need to take this, put it over top of that, and now it's going to slide inside that. I kind of was hitting it a little hard, and that was as far as it was going. That was why. Alright, we got that ball joint now seated in there like it's supposed to with its little spring there. Yeah, you need to get your set of these. Got these Advanced Auto. They're cool because you can set them. Now when I squeeze it, it's going to twist it apart, right? Well, what you do is you flip these. You flip the handles towards you. You flip it towards me. Flip it towards me. I'm going to go to the next one. So now once you've done that, now when you squeeze it, you're pulling them together. So by flipping them out, you go the other direction. When you squeeze it, you're pulling them apart. Find those in advance. Alright, let's get this on. Also what you need is a Maddox kit, which are your tamers, or let's see, where do you go? In the spot, wrong spot. There you go. There you go, right here. Alright, where's my large adapter? Where'd it go? There it is. Alright. Don't forget to keep your instructions close, I can tell you. But sometimes you gotta do it best way you can sometimes. Okay, that's that. Alright, next I need to get that strut up in there. Okay, there we are. This is the quick strut. That guy just paid $70 something for it. You got to make sure you're getting the right one. This one's got that bushing. It's goes in the front, and this belongs to this one. If it doesn't have that, it goes to the rear. Okay, here we go. We got the top, got the nuts set up there. She's down here. Pushing back there. Now she's got to get the bolt through. I just got in the book because I'm crazy about that frickin' lower shock absorber nut bolt. That sucker is 258 foot-pounds. So that explains that. Oh boy. But we're back in there. I just started to get it. It's tight. I'll get the torque wrench on it here in a second. I haven't got the top bolts in, but or the nuts tighten. I won't do that till that'll be the last thing I do once the wheels are back on it. Lower ball joint is in. There's nothing wrong with this one here. So anyway, that's where we're at. I've still got to do the freaking swing arm link, which right chair. Okay, I just gave it 258 foot-pounds. That's all this thing will give. 250 foot-pounds. I gave it just a little bit over after I heard it click. And I can explain a little bit why it's taking so hard to break. But I'm gonna go in reverse direction and see if I'm over that, trying to get that out. It'll tell me if I got a freaking issue. Alright, she's back together. Got the tie rod end back in. That's been torqued like they still. I still got to do the top nuts. That's been torqued. Lower ball joint's been torqued and all Carter keyed. Just finished putting the new grease fitting on there. Still got to do the sway bar link. Okay, let's get these installed. What I wound up having to do is sawzall it, and it cut right through. It's a long bolt going all the way through, but it's of course seized in there. It's the same setup as this one here. So bolt down on top, nut on the bottom, nut on the bottom. Let's get this installed. Sway bar link in that I got. It's compared to this, it's about an inch short. So, but that's what it said it came with. So that's what I'm putting back on there. Let's get the tire back on, and then I can work on that other side, because that freaking bolt is seized in there. Alright, this side one's complete. It has new, oh, it's level. New shocks, new lower ball joint. This side is now under scrutiny now. I got to get that bolt out of there so I can change that. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the center thing out of here. And now I'm going to use the lift to drop it down once I've got the breaker bar on here on a piece of 4x4 and get that thing to break. Something's going to break. I just got to get the center stand out of here, and I can go up and down. All right, here we go. Got the socket on there, the breaker bar, and I got this 4-foot piece of pipe as close up on there as I can. And nice thing about it is you're going counterclockwise to loosen it. So all I got to do is lower this down, and it's going to push on that 4x4. So hopefully this will break that. Hey, Dana here, and I went back to my garage. Still working on this 03 Ford Explorer. That's where I'm at right now. That bolt is frozen inside that sleeve for this shock. So I've just grinded off the freaking nut on this side. I don't know. I tried, but it's got these little things around the outside because that's a locking nut that has there's one right here. It has this locking device, and I might have been able to clean that off. I don't know how though, but I cut it off. So now it's free on this side, but it still won't twist. It's plastic. So I think what I'm going to wind up doing, I'm going to go ahead and probably chop that off. Let's go ahead and zip that off, get that out. And then I can concentrate on the rest of this thing. Get it slowly out of there. I don't know. I think I can come underneath, maybe. I'll have to, and then cut along the bottom of that. I don't know where I'm at yet. I'm hoping what I can do is just get the bolt smooth enough that it'll twist. It'll twist inside there and get it out. But next step is I'm gonna mess with this thing here, see if I can get that. Unfortunately, I can't go up and down anymore because I got the front supported by the jack stand. I've got no room under here to actually put the body on anything. Yes, I don't. Well, it's just not enough. Not enough on that. So I was using the up and down. I changed that not too long ago, didn't I? Okay, so that was probably on the last year's inspection. So we're going to see what transpires here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off next. Okay, as we can see, it is stuck inside that sleeve, like I said. Just with the nut off the back. That's what I'm dealing with. It hasn't broke. The sleeve hasn't broken loose from the rubber of the strut yet. But that's really not gonna. There's no way to get the sleeve out because the sleeve buries itself up against the inside of that swing arm. Right now, I don't know if there's any way to get to let go. I guess I can probably try and heat the nut or the head of the bolt, the back side of the bolt. Maybe it'll break loose from inside the sleeve. I don't know. We'll try it. All right, we're back. I heated that bolt head almost red. It was starting to tint. And of course I couldn't put my ouch, it's hot right now, on this coming through, so it did transpire, but now you can see I can now twist the bolt, but what you got is the sleeve is now melted from the rubber in there, so we're not gonna get it. It's not coming out without physical removal. So where we're at, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the bolt head off of there. We're gonna try and shave it down enough to pull it, push it down. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right about there and get that out of there. All right, I'm about halfway through that bolt head, but I went ahead and cut the strut out. And that's solid steel on that. I used that brewer, Harbor Freight brewer, and it cut through that like butter. So like that's regular steel piping there. It's not of any, I don't know what the grade of it, but we're talking grade 8 bolts here for your center bolts. One strut removed. The other one eventually gonna go in as soon as I get this out of here. All right, so we're at. I've got that grounded off the best I can. I tried to use the air gun to pound it out, but to no avail. So I said, screw it. I'll just go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and pull the swing arm on here. Was able to get that main nut off of there. I didn't have any ratchets to do the work, so it was a combination of the new Hercules and the breaker bar. That is a neoprene 30mm nut. And now we got to do these, which are 21s. Hopefully those will just drop down. Wish me luck. All right, we got one nut off, and the other one's coming down. As you can see, I'm dropping it out. Oh man, what a time. All right, so you asked me what I'm doing next. I'm putting that onto my press. I'm gonna push that sucker out. We'll be done here soon. And just a little backtrack to get that, cut that freaking head off. I wound up using 3 Sawzall blades and another freaking hour with the cobalt grinder, and using a cutting disc as well. So it was a major freaking undertaking here. Wore a mask, probably still didn't work, but anyway, that's where we're at. Okay, we got it. It did freaking let go. Not a lot of freaking messing around my wrist. I put the front bolt back in and it just started freaking fall on me. But it's going the front. Now we gotta get this in the freaking press. Get this son of a gun out. Yeah, that would have hurt. I not put that bolt back in there. Yep. Alright. Well, I was gonna press it out, but it didn't work the way I wanted it to. So I just took a cutting wheel and I cut through there. That should be enough to clear here and pop it out. Look at that. Alrighty, here we are. We just popped it. And there it is. Come here. Can't talk about it. Oh my word. You're a pain in the butt. And we can go back together. Oh my word.
In the end, it would have been easier
What
just
a
to
job.
drop the whole control arm and strut with it.
I'm happy. We got the swing arm back up again. The 2 bolts in the back tightened up, and lo and behold, that nut just freaking slammed right on up there tight. I'm gonna do it, I guess, without the Hercules. So it's paid for itself. Just doing this job here. Alright, so when swing arm back on, I'm gonna go get I'll get it right here. We'll put the We've got grab two different length bolts out of here. Let's see which one's gonna be the right one. All right. Yes, there's two lengths, and because of my troublemaker right here, it's definitely gonna be that one there, because that one's almost the same length as it is with the longer additive. So I came off of 2006, and this is a 3. So, and that's where I managed to get that from. So you're gonna go right through here, like so. And this new lock bolt. Where is it? Oh yeah. There he is. Alright. And then the new locking bolt. There you are here. Alright, let's get this new one up. Alright, one strut back in there. Get your top nuts. I can't see them. Top nuts. Started, holding it up. You got 3 of them. So you can't put it in backwards. Okay. I had to use the stand. I had to sit on my pry bar to bring this down. Just put it under that lip down there. Sit on it. You'll be able to bring it down and slide your bolt in there. Well, get her nut on there and tighten that puppy up. Alright, I'm taking a break. Bolt is in there, it's tight. I haven't torqued it yet. Still got to put the steering knuckle back on here. And we will be steering knuckle. I got to get that sway bar link back in here. We're laying there. Alright. Sway bar link back in here. And it will be inspection ready. Now I gotta get an inspection time because everything's freaking 2 weeks out. Hey, Danny, hey, welcome to the vlog. We're gonna get this done today. Right now what I'm doing is I'm torquing that lower shock bolt on the swing arm. And that's 258 foot-pounds. Okay, she's torqued. I don't want to have to do that once. Alright, I need to get in there and do that bolt. That nut right there. For the front part of that swing arm. Okay. That nut. That bolt right there is a 24. I'm going to go to this one here, which is also a 24. Which that nut there is a 30. I've still got to do that drive axle, front drive axle nut there as well. And it's also a 30. Okay. There's your rear bolts to frame. Those are torqued. There's your front bolt and nut for your lower control arm. That's complete. And then of course this one here is your stabilizer nut bolt. Alright. Those will be done as soon, the top nuts will be done as soon as I lower it. Now I gotta get I gotta get you back on there. Alright, gone ahead and put the stabilizer link in the 17 on top. I'm gonna find my 17 wrench. Here it is. Under there. Okay, there she is. The lower one snugged up and the top one snugged up. If you wind up with the top bearing or the lower bearing freaking or bushing shaft spinning while you're trying to tighten it up, get your C-clamp, pull it up tight. I tried doing this from the outside, but it can't work. So what you want to do is put it in on the inside of your swing arm so you can do it from there. Pull it up tight and you'll be good. Pull it up tight and you'll be able to tighten it up. I tighten it up by hand instead of using the impact because it may shake it a little more and then break it loose. But there we go. We are there. All right, back. I forgot to grab my new Pittsburgh half-inch flex head ratchet. Walked in with the other one that was broken and no questions asked. And walked out with the new one. Now I gotta do the same thing with that Craftsman ratchet going to Lowe's. Alright, there we are. Everything's back together and greased. What a job, man. Oh, there'll be a lot of, definitely a big cost for the shop. Anyway, all right, next thing we got to get it down. I got to get those 6 nuts tightened down. All right, I also got to say that the Hercules did the job I needed to do. So I'm impressed. It's not going back. I do like all that evolution. Let's check the battery here because I haven't done anything. We're down to 2. That's good. I've done quite a bit of hammering with it too, so it'll last a little while. The other features I do like is this one here. When you're pounding it up, it will shut off once it starts to release. You got your three torques. I don't know exactly what they are. I didn't really have a chance, but I know the lower one here, when you let it wrap as hard as it'll go with the nut, when it won't spin anymore, is about 120, maybe 120 foot-pounds. Because I use that on the wheel studs. All right, let's get this finished. All right, boys and girls, all done. I got them all snugged up. They're like 22 foot-pounds. They ain't much at all, both sides. You got a total of 3 on each one. Let me get this back together. And I am freaking done with this mess after about 2 weeks of work and breaking tools and everything else. Hey, Dana here. Yeah, welcome to my garage. Well, that last video, she failed because of her struts, front strut springs, and a lower ball joint. And you saw me replace all that. Well, I took it for its inspection, the strut springs, and prior to that I had emissions issues, which you saw me change out the O2 sensors, and I was able to get them cleared. Well, the gas cap light came on, and even though the the monitors are clear, the check engine light came on because of the gas cap. And he says, yeah, if it's got a check engine light, doesn't matter, even if the monitors are clear and you have a gas cap light, it's not gonna pass. So he says, he recommended get some grease, clean up your gas cap spout here, get some on that Get some on that seal, and that should be good, other than fill it up at least over a half a tank. So we're going to do that. I had to clear the codes, and we're going to get this done. I got to take some rims down to Wilbert's, which is about 35 miles. So it's going to get about 60 miles of driving, and hopefully that's enough to clear everything. This is crazy. All right, stay tuned. All right, here's a quick show up. You can see the cracks around that lip, so that's probably what's doing it. Hey, Dana here, and welcome to my garage. Well, the 03 Explorer passed its inspection. Talk about a fight. I was on my way for my appointment this morning. I got within 100 feet of the inspection station, and the check engine light went off. It was and the gas cap light had been on for a couple days. All the codes were clear, and again, I was within 100 feet of the inspection station. The check engine light came on for the gas cap code. So I reset it. I knew that if you keep your gas tank above 3/4, you're not going to have you're going to get a VAP code, and what you need to do is clean up around the outside of the fuel spout. In my case, the fuel spout had little splits in the seal. So what I did is I took some clear grease and I put it around the spout, put some on the seal of the gas cap, and locked it down. So I went to get gas. That was like 2 miles away. And within that 2 miles, 3 of the monitors cleared. So I was stuck with two left. EVAP and I believe it was cat efficiency or something like that, because the O2 sensor heater had cleared, and so did the other. I can't remember what the other one is. But anyway, from the time I went from the gas station to the inspection station, I was left with 1 code. So what I was going to do is I was going to drive down to Wilbert's, which is past the inspection station by about 25 miles. Go there, drop off these rims, get my credit off of them, and then turn around and go back. By that time, it should have been enough to clear the rest of the codes. Maybe not one, just leaving the 1. Well, I got within another 100 feet of the inspection station, and 1 more code cleared, so I had 1. That's all you need for inspection. And I pulled in and got it inspected. So this has been a month of trying to get this thing inspected. I thought it was I had to replace the front springs and struts, and the lower ball joint, and then an O2 sensor, because that was kicking it off as a lean code. So all is good. Thanks for watching. If you like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, definitely share. Catch me on more of Dana's Garage. Next project is to get the daughter's nitro repaired. I found another 07 nitro. And unfortunately the deal with that is I went to get inspected after all that time working on the 02 sensors and then couldn't get it in reverse. Again, we'll catch you on the next Dana's Garage.